Hi, I'm Kevin. Welcome to This Week in Our Collective Heads. I'm joined by Cameron and Patrick, and we're going to be talking about kind of multiplayer and kind of our stories leading up to where it is now. I don't do a whole lot of online multiplayer, but I remember fondly the whole couch co-op controversy. That's not even what I'm talking about.
No, not at all.
No, like the co-op competitive thing. Because like the first thing I remember really playing co-op where you weren't taking turns was like those beat 'em ups with like Turtles in Time and the one Mac the Knife and the
Streets of Rage.
Double Dragon.
Then
Battletoads.
Obviously this isn't like the arcades, but like the X-Men beat 'em ups and everything like that. Yeah.
Those were fun, and I really enjoyed that, and I really liked also when you could troll. Like with Battletoad, you could pick somebody up and throw them off the cliff.
Yes.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
And that element.
So what was the first game that you played that wasn't couch co-op? If it was LAN multiplayer, or if it was internet multiplayer?
That's easy. That's so easy.
Probably Counter-Strike.
That's what I was going to guess for you too. Okay, so mine was X-Wing versus TIE Fighter.
See, I never played that multiplayer, but that game was.
I played that on a LAN connection between a computer on our first level and our basement. It was yelling.
Nice.
Because this was 94. So, and then right after that, the same friend of mine, we played Warcraft. The first Warcraft, and then immediately played the second one after that.
Yeah,
but
Warcraft 2 was a lot of fun to do.
I played a ton of that, and then I know what was the first game you played online? Was it Counter-Strike as well?
The first one that I really remember was actually EverQuest.
Okay,
like I
first online was an MMO.
Was an MMO.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm talking about because like I played a lot of stuff on LANs and stuff.
Yeah,
like
I mean like online. Like for me, it was
like legit online. The first one was EverQuest, and I played that for like 4 years.
Okay. Mine was Diablo 2.
See, I played that on the college LAN because they would not let us hook up to the outside world.
Okay, I played
because Christian college.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I played that on. Yeah, when was that? 96 through 98 maybe. I mean, played a ton of that game.
That game was so fun.
Yeah.
I love having the necromancer and just having an entire crowd of creatures following me.
Yeah,
that was great.
What was your first one to play online?
I couldn't tell you. I was very small. Very small.
Youngin'.
Well, I feel like so co-op, there was at the arcades and everything, but I feel like the first time that multiplayer really, I don't know, I have to always and forever give it to 007.
Oh, yeah.
Like Counter-Strike, it had the same thing, and Counter-Strike was huge, and Counter-Strike was what started that whole movement. But 007 is the real beginning. That's what everyone goes back to.
Oh, yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
And,
I was just kind of branching off to talk about like when you weren't doing couch co-op, but that is, I think, it is still. I mean, if you go back and play it, okay, the graphics, have not aged obviously.
Terrible.
They've aged terribly, but the gameplay is still great. Well, it's still fantastic.
The thing about the graphics is, and I think this is a lot of the problem that they have when they're trying to do split screen now, is like the environments are so much more detailed. Yeah. Sometimes it's hard to tell what's going on.
Yeah.
And the graphics were simple enough that you could shoot at the block that had a head on it.
Yeah, and that's what that is.
Yeah. That one and Perfect Dark both.
Oh yeah.
Perfect Dark was so fun.
And
it had a lot more opportunities for trolling with like the poison knives and the laptop gun that you could throw up. Where
I loved that.
Yeah, and you could have the laptop gun protect the laptop gun from other people getting the laptop gun, and that was a lot of fun. But like, I think Perfect Dark is the better game overall. But 007 GoldenEye is
the
just
multiplayer isn't
so
as good. Yeah,
like the maps.
The maps are better in Perfect Dark in regards to like the single player.
Right, but it
multiplayer experience I don't think is near as good as GoldenEye, which is why.
And it was a lot more difficult because like I feel like I felt a lot more time in Perfect Dark wandering around trying to find combat.
Yeah.
And even if you couldn't necessarily tell exactly where someone was, you could kind of see out of the corner of your eye, okay, they have no green lines on the wall. I know they're downstairs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, complex and proxy mines was always just so much fun.
Proximity mines were like one of my favorite things.
Whoa, time out.
What?
Okay, I was just seeing this thing about a new game. Have you guys heard about Screen Cheat?
No.
Yes.
It's a multiplayer first-person shooter where everyone is invisible. The only way you know where people are is by looking at other people's screens.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, and then like every room will be like colored differently, so you have like a kind of an idea. I haven't played it yet, but it looks
I don't
so much fun.
I think it's out yet.
That sounds horrible, but it's funny.
But it sounds really like I'd throw $5 at that.
Because that's if you're playing GoldenEye.
Yeah.
If someone's watching your screen to figure out where you are, yeah, it's cheating.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest,
but if you have
cheating.
a game built around that, because there were people who got really, really good at that.
Oh yeah, if you know your maps well enough, you're like, oh, I know exactly where he's going, I know where he's headed. Cut him off. Yeah. I hate that. But that sounds funny.
It was also the first one. Like that was the first time because like Doom and Wolfenstein 3D and those were big, and Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
Those were big, but it was all PC, and GoldenEye was the first one that proved that split screen shooting could be done on a console.
Yeah. Which is how I played Halo, Gears of War, Borderlands,
Time Splitters.
Yeah, Time Splitters.
Time Splitters was so fun.
Yeah.
And so dumb.
But like that's the love of that is why I played couch co-op game. All those games that I just mentioned, I played with my wife. So I played Halo and Gears of War and Borderlands split screen co-op with her. And it's phenomenal. It's not as ideal, obviously, as having your own screen, but that's investing in 2 copies of a game, 2 consoles, 2 screens.
Yeah,
I know people who do that. I know multiple friends, friends of mine who do that. But that's why it kind of saddened me when Halo didn't have it.
Yeah,
it was the whole thing that they were like, all right, it's just too much for us to do in split screen. For Battlefront, it has it on the missions aspect. I think I told you a little bit about this. So the missions are between 2 and 4 players. I think split screen co-op, or versus whatever.
And it's like waves, so it's horde mode.
You can do horde mode. You can do horde mode, or you can do essentially pick a map, pick your loadout, and kill stuff.
Yeah.
And it is when you play that, and then you play the multiplayer portion of it. That part feels like you're cheating, because you have during that section you have anything that you could unlock during multiplayer is available there. So I guess you could try out stuff, but also there's heroes mode where it's like, oh, just pick your hero and go do your stuff. And
wreck shop. And
the way that it works in the game, there's 2 different ways. Either you pick the heroes and villains, which is you have 3 heroes, 3 villains on each side. You go through a map. All your the stormtroopers and the rebel guys will respawn constantly, but the heroes won't. So once you eliminate all the heroes, your side's won.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And if you start as a hero and you die, then you come back as a grunt.
Yeah.
Which is cool. You don't have to be done.
Exactly. You're not completely done.
Interesting.
But then there are other battles, like these full-on like supremacy, like 20-on-20 battles.
Yeah.
And then randomly you will get to be Vader or Luke or Boba Fett or whatever as like a power-up.
Yeah.
It's like it's a rare power-up, because like you have power-ups that are like turrets or thermal imploders, which are like thermal detonators that just implode the like huge, like, I don't know, 30
like mini black hole type thing.
Yeah, and it just wrecks everything, because but beforehand you already pick your loadout, so and that unlocks based on how much you've played and how many points you're doing in each game.
Right.
If your team wins, you get more points. If you get more kills, you get more points. All that kind of stuff, and then you then take that cash and buy equipment, and you choose that as your loadout to go and play. But then you get these power-ups like the thermal imploder, turrets, or in some maps ATSTs and like X-wings. So while this 20-on-20 battle's going on, you get in an X-wing and you start flying around, which sounds really cool, but you're flying so fast through there that it's like, am I really going to hit this person? It's hard enough to do it.
Yeah.
It's hard enough where it's like, okay, that's not going to wreck everything.
There's been some, like, I haven't played much. Like, I played like 2 things of Battlefront whenever it was on the demo bit.
Okay.
But I have loved watching the crazy stuff that can happen. Like, I watched Luke pick up a herd of stormtroopers and throw them at a TIE fighter, and they all smash into it, and the TIE fighter crashes.
I haven't seen that. That's crazy.
Oh, it was because they at that point become projectiles.
Yeah. I've seen Vader and Luke just completely wreck, and the Emperor too, completely come in and just wreck everything.
Yeah.
Boba Fett doesn't do it as much. Han Solo doesn't do it as much. Leia's more support. But the 3 of those are just. It may be my perception. I'd say Vader and Luke just go in there and they're just completely OP.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll take out 20 or 30 people before they're taken down.
Jeez.
Which, if you're playing a map where you're having specific objectives, that's good. It's not completely
right.
It's not completely winning your side, but the fact that you're both able to get a hero is cool. They've done a good job on balancing of that. But when you play the missions where you can just choose, I'm going to do this. If you were doing that, to me, if you're doing that to learn, to be like, all right, how do I, to not have to jump in multiplayer and go, okay, how should I be using this weapon in a fight? It's a good way to try to kind of test it out, I guess. Or be like, okay, I've got 2,000 credits. What do I actually want to spend it on?
Right.
Okay, but I felt like that entire section of the game I don't even care about anymore. I'm all about the multiplayer in this game.
That's interesting.
Yeah, which I'm not normally about. But if this had a campaign, I would freaking love it.
It's interesting because I feel like within the last couple of years, and it kind of started with what was that Xbox only the jumpy mech Titanfall.
Yes.
Titanfall was the first game that I had seen basically since Counter-Strike that was multiplayer only. This is our thing.
Yeah.
And that and Evolve and now Battlefront is mostly. And
you can play it offline, but you're playing a watered down version. I mean, you can't play the scenarios that you're playing on the multiplayer.
Yeah.
In the single player.
Yeah.
So you're playing a horde mode, or you're just playing shoot some stuff.
Yeah. I like the. I think my favorite though is stuff like the Call of Duty Zombies ones, where you have objectives and you're going up against AI.
Yeah.
I would much rather do co-op, be working with someone rather than get headshotted by a 12-year-old who yells about my mom.
And I wish that this had more of that, because it's 6-on-6, it's all the way from 6-on-6 to 20-on-20 multiplayer, and you're not going against bots. And if you go against bots in the missions section of it, it doesn't have what Call of Duty has with zombies. And maybe it'll have it with the DLC. I don't know. I'm tempted at this point to get the season pass because I am having a lot of fun with it. So,
I don't know. I feel like that there's a lot of opportunity now with what they can do with the consoles and the PCs. They can do some really amazing things, and like whenever Kurt and Cameron are playing zombies, they're like talking about all this stuff that they're very familiar with.
Oh yeah.
And I love. Oh, you got to go up to the whorehouse. I got the alleyway or whatever.
Yeah.
And like the way that you unlock things and work toward objectives.
Yeah. And that's cool.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Well, that's a thing about zombies, is whenever it first came out, all it was regular horde mode, you versus melee only bots, and it was like, okay, whatever. But now it's gotten to such a point of sophistication. Like, I have played every single map. I have beat, like, I think all but 2, which people are like, you can't beat zombies, and you can. which is why a lot of people don't like it, is because they don't know, because you're not going for the actual mission, which is usually super, super, super impossible, and often not really what you want to do.
Yeah.
Whenever you beat the moon mission, the thing that you do is you launch missiles at the Earth. You know, so it's like, yeah, I won, but I didn't know that was going to happen when I pushed the button. You know, you're following the mad German scientist around.
Yeah.
That's rarely a good idea.
Yeah.
Pro tip: don't follow the directions of a mad German scientist.
In this
They got
last
us to the
one,
moon in the first place.
true, and
That's how we-
time traveled from World War II. In this last one, the opening video, they're
Well, I
like,
meant like in real life. That's how we got to them.
oh yeah,
That's
We
also,
beat them in World War II, and then we took all their scientists, and I can't remember the guy's name. One of their like top rocket scientists, and that's the guy who got us to the moon. He wanted to build a space station there to get us over to Mars within his lifetime, and NASA was like, I don't want to do it. That man was so ambitious, and they, at one point they took. They were like, oh well, we're the government was like, well, I'm trying to remember who this was under. One of the presidents was like, we're using way too much too many German scientists on this, so we're going to use an American team. So they shelved his team for a bit, and they had I want to say it was the Navy try to do one in the what was it, like late 50s or something.
Yeah.
They had a specific one, and it just was crap. He's like, I've been doing this for like 30 years now. You gotta come on.
Let me do my thing.
Let me do my thing.
that has nothing to do with video games.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, yo,
We love rockets and missiles and explosions.
Okay, so speaking of zombies, which is the greatest thing from all times. Okay, so they have a new power-up system that is preposterous, that I would like to see in more games.
63 to 69. He succeeded Kennedy.
All right, good job. What it is you earn this substance. It's the same as earning experience.
Okay.
And then you save up 3 vials, and then you put them in at a chance for different perks.
Okay.
Right? So you come with 3
I've heard about
things.
this, yeah.
It can be like a rare thing or a not rare thing. And if they did that for heroes in Battlefront,
Yeah.
I think that would be awesome. Because sometimes
So
you get it.
something really good. Or,
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes you get stuff and it's terrible. Like you'll get randomly teleports you to a different spot on the map, which is not helpful.
No.
It's the exact opposite of, like, if I'm running, I know where they are.
Yeah.
They're right here behind
Yeah.
me. And then what if I teleport in a spot and it's right here? And then it's terrible.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
Right in the middle of all of it.
But I like earning power-ups by way of experience and then randomness. And a lot of times you'll just run out.
Yeah.
Like you'll use too many in one game, and then other times you'll have them just stacked up, and you're like, for the next 5-10 games I play, I'm going to have mega power-ups.
Yeah.
This is one thing that I do like about Battlefront. I don't know. Have you played much of it?
I haven't played it at all.
So, like the power-ups in Battlefront are in specific locations.
Yeah.
And essentially, you only have one at a time. You use it, and there's a timer on that power-up there. So it will. I don't know if it's a minute or 30 seconds or what it is. I need to know that because I need to milk it. I'll pick up a power-up and use it. So what happens if I come up to another power-up and I've got one already? And I'm like, all right, do I use this one
And then
and then grab the other one?
well, it's the whole.
Should I save this because it's powerful? If you get like a smart rocket, which is like a rocket launcher, which has semi-homing abilities, do I wait and use this at a really, really good opportune time, or do I fire it off into that area and hopefully I got someone and then pick up another thing that may? So you have some strategy on that, but the power-ups are random. At least so you could pick that up, and the next thing you get is a blaster turret, which is not, it doesn't shoot for you. You put it there, and it has a 45-degree rotation.
Hope you're pointing the right way.
Hope you pointed it the right way. Hope the area that you put it in is going to be opportune, and I hope no one just throws a thermal detonator right at you and you explode while you're shooting over here.
Which happens right after you place it.
You place it, yeah.
Well, see, what you're talking about with holding on to power-ups and stuff goes back to one that we haven't even touched yet, which is racing.
Yeah.
Racing multiplayer.
Yeah.
Because like
Mario Kart?
Mario Kart was exactly what I was thinking of, is because like you're like,
I get a
do I drop this
box?
now?
Yeah. Well, with Mario Kart, you have the trick of holding the item. You know about that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you have a trick. You can technically hold two, but if it's a red shell, you're holding it to shoot behind you.
Right.
Which is great if you're in first.
So briefly,
yeah.
Favorite Mario Kart
of
the series.
That's tough. I
it's
think
not Double Dash. Double Dash is.
I say Wii.
That one is so much.
I don't know.
Wii's
I'd go
fun,
between Double Dash and 8. Have you guys played 8 yet?
8 is amazing.
8 is
yeah.
so good. And you know what I discovered? Is that, okay, so you know that little like horn thing that blasts in circles?
Yeah.
You can use that to defeat the blue shell.
Really?
Whenever it shows up behind you, if you use that, it blows up. And so now I always win first forever. And
now that you know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because that's always what takes me out of first.
Yeah.
So if you get...
In the last round, in the last 30 seconds of lap 3.
Yeah.
I have had times where I get far enough away from everybody that it hits me, and I still have enough gain that I'm okay.
Yeah.
But that's if I don't get hit with a blue shell and then go off track, and yeah.
I saw a bold move the other day. I saw somebody suicide to avoid a blue shell, and it worked flawlessly. They just steered right off the track, and it did less to them than getting hit.
Oh, okay. So they suicided. It placed them back on the track, but interesting.
Yeah.
Very bold.
Yeah, it was. I was like, that's gutsy.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So what are the things that you look for in a multiplayer game, multiplayer experience? What is it that drives you? What is it that keeps you in a multiplayer game? Because I know that you picked up Titanfall and you were really into that for a while. Zombies is
forever and it always will be my love. A lot of it really is innovativeness. There was nothing like Titanfall before it came out. There was nothing like Evolve before it came out. If you're an innovative multiplayer, I'm going to spend $60 on you. I may not play you for more than a month.
We'll see that.
But I will buy you at store price right away.
That's what
a
happened
month worth of gameplay, $60. So I mean, that's worth it to me.
That's $2 a day if you do the math.
Yeah.
And you have.
I have. Yeah. I did it actually just
right
now.
There. Oh, he's smart.
Real quick.
Now, to me, if it's a PvP multiplayer scenario, it's all about balance. I need I need a balanced game that I feel, okay, this person may be really skilled. This person may be playing the game constantly. Know the map, have in Battlefront, the loadouts I was talking about, some of the stuff that you can get when you're further on, like rank 25, you get a jump pack so you can leap like these, like almost
really
like a
useful
jetpack.
for capture the flag type. Yeah,
it's almost exploitive, exploitive when you do it when you get a specific map.
It probably costs some expletives too.
Oh, there's the expletives. When I realized what this other team was doing, there's a specific map on Tatooine, and you're going through. Drop my phone. You're going through kind of some interior kind of areas, think like Mos Eisley kind of structures, and then in between your area and the enemy's area, Millennium Falcon's there in a docking bay.
Okay.
So that area is in every single one of the maps. There's usually an area that is. It's like, okay, if you go in there,
good luck.
Good luck, but everyone has to go through there. Yeah. Unless you go through a sneaky area, and if you do that, you run the chance of being like running right into a group of people. So it's like, do I avoid these choke points and go through this giant open area, or do I go through a choke point and hopefully no one's there? So for this area, and I've seen a couple other ones, but this one's the worst. You can take the jump pack, jump right as soon as you walk out, jump, you land on the Millennium Falcon. You go basically run the last quarter of the Millennium Falcon, hop off of him, and go through the next area. So you've evaded every single one of the other people. Other than that, I have not seen where even if they have really good equipment, where I feel like, okay, there's no way I can beat this guy.
Yeah.
You have people whose skill level is better than me, obviously. But I've seen ones where I've seen a specific, you can see their name, and I'm like, all right, this guy, knocked me out 3 or 4 times in a row. I finally get him, and when they kill you, you can see what their loadout is. So you can see what they killed you with, and what you can also see what they're equipped with. But I've seen times where I took him down, I'm like, oh, it was just the right time, the right moment. I was able to take him out, and the balance in that is why I've really liked this game, because there are a lot of games where if you're going PvP, battleground stuff in World of Warcraft or anything like that, where it's like, okay, not only am I not skilled enough, but I am not well equipped. Do I want to spend the next 2 or 3 months getting up to that level in skill and equipment? And grinding that out, is that even going to be fun for me? So the fact that this game, I may not have the best equipment, but I'm able to do okay. And by okay, I mean I'm killing more than I'm dying. And for a shooter, I'm liking that.
Well, see, as far as balance goes, I don't think you're gonna. There's some games that don't even have progression. Rocket League.
Yeah. That's one thing I love about it.
That is just skill based, and
everything else is cosmetic.
Yeah.
You want flowers to shoot out of your exhaust pipe? Go for it.
Yes and no. The car shape really does matter.
The hit zones within the car.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but how many? I mean, it
but
matters,
you have to get good enough at a skill level to deal with any car before you even notice the different hit zones.
Yeah, because I know there are ones. I haven't noticed it that much, but
I'm very good.
I picked a specific. I can't remember which style it was now, but I picked a specific build, and I was like, all right, I like this one.
I like the creeper van.
The creeper van. Okay. Yeah, I don't use that.
Yeah. I think that balance is definitely one of the most important things, and not just balance from player to player, but one thing that one of everyone's favorite shooters, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, right? It was awful. It was super awful. All 3 of them. The Modern Warfares were bad because they built maps based on gameplay style. I don't snipe. I don't like to snipe.
Yeah.
I don't like snipers.
Yeah.
And they'd have maps specifically built for snipers. This one is specifically built for shotgunners. I don't like a game telling me how to play.
I don't like that at all. I agree. I didn't play the multiplayer aspect of those games, so that's why I was kind of confused when you said you didn't like them, because the campaign was all right. But you
got to shoot up an airport full of civilians.
But
come on,
I like
nothing's better than that.
Spoilers.
I like sniping.
It was like 12 years ago.
It was also the first mission.
It's also the first mission, yeah. But I like sniping. I like doing more supportive stuff. If I can, if that's kind of my thing. But I like kind of hanging back. But my sniping isn't I don't find a specific camping spot and then just exploit that. And that's what. If you have a game that's here's a couple spots that are specifically made for you to sit and camp and snipe, that's crap. Because mine, it's okay, I'm peeking out just a little bit. I've seen this guy's over here. I switched to a long range. One of the weapons in there is a long range. They call them cards. It's your loadout. So you can shoot once, and then you got a 10-second, a 20-second cooldown or something. 10-second cooldown. Switch to that.
That must be very difficult to hold while it's cooling
shoot. You have that as well. The weapons overheat.
Yeah.
Because they're blasters and stuff. No, but it shoots, and then you immediately swap back to your other weapon, and you got 10 seconds before you can use it again. Yeah. Maybe 10 or 15, I can't remember.
And you can maybe move to another position, try to figure out.
Yeah, well, you've got your other gun. You need to be doing
something else.
You've got your other gun at that time. It's not like you're completely vulnerable. But because they don't have the nesting kind of areas you could just sit and camp, Like, if I pull that out and I pull into the zoom and I'm trying to aim at this guy, I am wide open for anybody at any point to kill me. And that's usually what happens. But if I can find the right spot to do that and I see that all the commotion's going on over here, as long as no one comes up and flanks me, I can get a clean shot in there. But I can't just sit there and shoot. I can't snipe over and over. It's the point where I have to shoot and then I gotta move.
Yeah.
So it's balanced enough where you can't exploit that. I can't stand. I agree with you. If you have a scenario that's like, okay, if you're sniping, you're going to win this one. If you're using a shotgun, you win this. That's not.
Yeah.
Like this Battlefront has like essentially capture the flag. You have ones that you get more depending on how many kills you get.
Mm-hmm.
You have their cargo's more capture the flag, and then you have ones where you capture control points. So specific control points, and you're basically pushing your enemy further away, or you're one way or another. And
see, that sounds like the Unreal Tournament capture the flag. What were those ones where they had like specific missions, and if you reached a checkpoint and destroyed a thing, you were trying to hold them out? Assault.
These are like you occupy an area.
Was fun.
If you occupy an area for a specific amount of
domination.
time, you dominate that area basically. This like specific area, and if you've done that, then you control that checkpoint, and whoever over the course of the time, either whoever controls the most at the end or whoever controls all of them wins.
Yeah.
And then the only one that's different is
at the end. It's not like it doesn't build points throughout.
You get points personally for.
But all that matters is how the dust settles.
Yeah.
Oh, that's garbage.
All that matters is how the dust settles at the end for who won.
Mm-hmm.
Now you personally,
you can get an advantage.
You may get more advantage because it's like, oh, you occupied all these and you got more, because if you're defending or if you're capturing an area, you get specific points per like every couple seconds. So if you're the one who's going over there and conquering every one, you're going to get, it's not a ton of points, but you're going to get some points in there.
Yeah.
But you have this ebb and flow of like controlling more and less unless you have the right people on your team, or if you have people that you're on party chat with, where you can actually say, all right, we're just concentrating on this one, because you'll have 3 checkpoints you could go towards. It's like, all right, you can either concentrate all on one, or let's go have one person on each one of these, because it'll show on your enemy's map saying, hey, they're trying to control it.
Yeah.
Well, if you only got 1 or 2 on these and you got like 5 people over here or 10 people over here, they're going to split. The enemy won't know that the first time.
Right.
Yeah.
They'll all split.
Have one person stand up and then dips it.
And you're taking out every single person over here. So it has its tactical advantages. The only one that's different is Jakku, which is very similar to that. Have you seen the new Star Wars?
Yes.
Okay, so Jakku's obviously the desert planet. I'm not going to. It doesn't give anything away in the movie, but Jakku is the last battle between the Empire and the Rebels. Like the last big battle happened on that post Return of the Jedi, and that's why
spoilers for Return of the Jedi.
Oh, spoilers! The Empire lost in there, so that's why you see like the Star Destroyer and all the TIE fighters and stuff. Those are all of the remnants of that battle that have been there for the past like 27 years, 28 years, or whatever. Yeah. So you play that battle, and that battle. You either hold, what was it? It's basically similar to Hoth, where it's like hold them off, or reverse. It's reverse Hoth, which is irritating that the Hoth battle is not in the game anymore. So, what the heck? There's a Hoth battle, but the Walker battle is not. Yeah, we did it. We did it on the show. We talked about it.
Removed it?
Yeah, we talked about it. It's not.
I must have been high.
You think you may have been?
What did you get? I wasn't.
The Hoth battle in the game is not the Walker assault battle in this game in Hoth is not what it originally was. So they either replaced it or removed whatever was on there.
That is so weird.
Because it is not the same at all, and it's irritating. And if I'm wrong, tell me. But because what I saw people playing the demo versus what I'm playing is different. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So to kind of close out our whole multiplayer thing, briefly, favorite weapon for multiplayer
in any game.
Yeah, just some of the ones that pop out at you. Mine's the flat cannon from Unreal Tournament. That thing is so fun because you've got the. It's crazy fun.
That'd probably be my tertiary favorite.
Yeah.
I like that one, and then I just like the creativity of the Unreal weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's so much variety there, and I like any game that you can telefrag people. I popped up in you. You're dead now.
I like. I have a love ever since GoldenEye for any time I can lay a proximity mine. Proximity mines in GoldenEye, proximity mines in this game. It's a random power up, but man, when I get it, like I already have areas on the map where I'm like, all right, this is high traffic. Mm-hmm. This is what's gonna happen.
And then dying to your own proximity mines is always fun.
So in this, you can't trigger your own, but you can be in the middle of it.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
But I had that scare because of games like GoldenEye and everything, where I'm like, oh no, I put a proximity mine. It didn't go off. Wait.
Yeah. And then also a shout out to swords in Halo.
Yeah.
I love anything that gives me a one-hit kill.
Or slappers.
Slappers.
I think number one gun of all times would be the first Call of Duty Zombies. You got the Thunder gun, which all it did was shoot out like a force field, basically, that expanded, and so you'd shoot it at the zombies and they just go flying in every direction.
Okay, that's cool.
And then once they landed, they'd twitch until their bodies disappeared.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I think that would be my favorite of all time.
Also, the BFG from Doom. Mm-hmm. It was just like, it was completely OP for that game.
I like when you get a trio of red shells.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like the blue shells is the quintessential weapon or whatever, but the trio of red shells, because you can use it and you can pick up more stuff, and you're not protected, but you're a lot safer than you were.
You're a lot safer, and it's also one that works well when you're in the lead or when you're not in the lead.
Yeah, it's a very versatile.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
When I realized that I could shoot red shells behind me, boom, mind blown. Yeah.
Mind blown.
Yeah. Which is why they don't give you, which is why it's no longer completely random when you're in first.
Yeah.
You don't keep getting red shells.
Yeah.
I'd love that though.
Yeah. So that's our thoughts on multiplayer and kind of a history overview and some of our fond memories of those. So tell us what you played. Tell us what you're playing now, and what it is that you think makes a multiplayer must-have. So that's what we got. See you next week.